Hey guys, Nathan Brandon Masters. If you want to support the channel, check out my website, nightphoenixpress.com. You can find digital and physical copies of my books, role-playing games, and even drawing paper. The money helps support me as well as fund new content, so go check out my site. You know we're trying to build this community in 2018, so if you like what I do here, go ahead and subscribe and click that bell, and I'll keep dropping these vids just for you. If you're one of those people that's into color pencils, this has to be your dream right here. Okay, so I totally forgot how expensive art supply can be. So I came in and I was expecting to get some Copic markers, and I forgot that how expensive those were in a set. And then the Prismacolor, of course, are just as expensive, if not more. So I was introduced to these Tombow markers. So they're, well, I shouldn't call them markers. They're what they are. They're dual brush pens. So I'm probably going to get some of those and actually test them out and see how good they are, and see if they'll do what I need them to do as far as coloring the page. And since I am actually going to be doing touch up on a computer, that might be fine for what I need. So let's hope. Alright guys, so this is what I bought. I bought the Tombow dual brush pens. These are the skin tones, so I'm going to need those. And I bought the just regular colors and things, so I got those. And some 8-point micron markers, or marking pens. You guys know about these if you saw my desk tour. Those are what I use, and these are all, these are all 8 points, which I'm going to switch to using 8. I'm still going to probably use 5.5 pens, but right now the 8 points are what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get started with this and check these out and maybe do a little bit of practice. I might do that in another video. So I went back to get the grayscale Tombow markers. So those videos came from 2016, the summer of 2016, and yeah, I didn't really get to the Tombow markers. Didn't really do a lot with those. As a matter of fact, 2017 was all about comic books. But I never actually got to the manga stuff. I was working on Epitaph Bread and Salt and rebranding Epitaph Bread and Salt and finishing Victor Locke Demon Hunter, as well as the Decoy book. So I did a lot of stuff with the books, but didn't get to that. As a matter of fact, I actually had someone coloring my books. And the manga stuff, obviously, I just didn't get to. It's just way too much stuff happening. And you guys know I got my store up and all that good stuff. And so now I'm just now getting to the Tombow markers. So as you can guess, my marker game is not on fleek, as the kids would say. So this is where I'm at. I've never really liked using markers. I was never a fan of markers, and I was always, I would draw and would say, "Hey, I can get someone else to color." And I actually came up in the time of actually hand coloring, because I was going to do black and white books. And if you ever saw the first Epitaph Bread and Salt books, they were black and white. And I knew people who could do computer coloring, and I wanted to kind of get into it, but it was never something that I was really all that thrilled about. There were people who could do it so much better than I could, and I never saw any real reason to actually do it. I was like, okay, well, you can do that well, then I'll farm this out to you, and I'll pay you a little money to do it for me. And that's worked. But with the manga stuff, it's pretty much going to be in black and white, and the only thing that's going to be in color is the covers. And I've watched a lot of manga artists, and they do they draw their covers, and then they go into the covers with coloring pencils, watercolors, you name it. And I've known manga artists. I was actually taught by a manga artist, and it's really crazy, because I wasn't a huge fan of manga, but I appreciated the fact that my teacher, she knew all of these mediums, and she could mix all of these mediums. She was just that damn good. I personally don't see myself doing too much coloring, particularly this way, but I'm definitely going to work with it and see what it's like. Then, just so you know, my thing, or the way I go about life and just go about production, is I try to know about as much as I can. I try to know about everything, every facet of production, and I try to know the things that I can do really well, the things that I can kind of do, and the things that I completely suck at. So in this situation, this is something that I may suck at, but I'm trying to do better. So for my first manga stuff, I do plan to get someone to do the digital coloring, but as time goes on, I do plan to actually knock out a cover or so and start to do some color work and stuff like that. I haven't decided whether I wanted the interiors to be wash or tone. If I do wash, it would probably be a mix of the gray markers and actual wash, ink wash. But again, that's far in the future as far as I'm concerned right now, because I'm really trying to get this stuff down. So I've been watching a lot of people online, especially a lot of these, there's a lot of girls that love manga, and they are doing amazing work. My God, this stuff is insane. There's the girl from My Manga Life, Lisbeth Menace. She draws a book called Sacred, and she has a YouTube channel, My Manga Life. There's Bailey J and Drammy, and just a ton of people. Just these girls are just killing it. And of course, you have people like Mark Crilly and White Manga, and people like that, who are drawing and showing you how to draw and do manga and stuff like that. But it's a lot happening on the manga side of things. But when it comes to the markers and the colors and stuff, like these girls, man, they throw down. So I've been watching a lot of their stuff, and man. So this is just kind of practice for me, because I personally haven't used markers since high school, literally since I was a kid. So you just might as well consider this as all new to me. So I also don't like the way I drew that shirt. I should have drawn the collars bigger, the bigger collars, or drawn the shirt open instead of buttoned up all the way. And in fact, I don't even have a button. If you look at that, I don't have a button up there where the collar is, where it would actually be buttoned. This was a quick piece I did, and I inked it on one video. This was a video I did about Jordan Peterson in the Channel 4 interview he did with Kathy Newman. And I did a video about that for the Breakfast Club. And I did the inking. So I had this drawn and I inked it in that video. And then I did it all. I really just kind of did it all at one time. And then I cut the video up. That was the pencil ink portion. This is the color portion. So I said I would do the testing on this and just see at least how much of this stuff I still remember as far as markers go. And I'm not sure I remember a lot of it. And I did actually fix this, the neck part. I fixed that like at the end, and I fixed that in the most basic way, possible. But I'm kind of getting the shading down. I have another piece in my sketchbook that I'm going to do, and I'm going to color that. Also, I probably shouldn't be coloring in this sketchbook because I can't say that. It holds the marker. It holds the marker pretty well. It holds it better than I thought it would. But if I do too much of it, I do too much tone, or like I do too much overlaying, it will definitely it will definitely seep through the paper. So that's something I have to watch out for. But I went in and did like these little details on the hair and stuff like that. So that kind of stuff, I like that kind of stuff, that kind of detail, that kind of color detail. You go in and do the little streaks, and it's like reflects the way the light is hitting you. And I even could have done that a lot better. So much of this, like I say, is practice for when I really get into using the markers. So I kind of came at this with the idea that if nothing else, I can look back. I don't really need to look back at the video because I actually have this in my sketchbook. But I can look back at this and see where I kind of went wrong. And another thing is my strokes. I'm not really a fan of how I actually do the strokes. Not really a fan of that. But yeah, here this is how I fix that problem right there. You just keep it basic. This is a basic black marker. So that's where you fix that. But this is pretty much what this piece is going to look like. I do a little bit more detailing on the face and stuff where the light is hitting them and everything. So it's like I said, you're gonna for this kind of thing, you're going to get to see the whole growing process and all of that stuff. So you'll see where I started from and where I end up, hopefully. So yeah, I hope I don't suck when this is all said and done. I hope people are gonna look at this and be like, oh, okay, we can see he grew, and not, oh wow, he's still doing that bad stuff that he was doing when he did that video. Although I will say that this image, for some reason, it puts me in the mind of those old Jade Man comics. If you remember back in the 90s, they had the Jade Man manga comics. They were full color. They were either done in marker or watercolor. I'm not completely sure, but and they were like just straight up martial arts, just all kind of kick-ass happening in the books. I was like, wow, okay. I would find a lot of them in the back issue bins. I think like they would drop $1 off of them by the time they got in the back issue bin, and I would grab a few every once in a while and read those. I did like those more so for the art than anything, because most of the times if you see an American martial art book, they weren't drawn like that. There was that kind of dynamic wasn't there. there are some people who can draw good martial art fights and some people who can't. And then there's this thing. These books were like a whole different, it's a whole next level with the fights and things. So I really enjoyed seeing that. And that's like, I was like, okay, well, this is a martial art fight. So this is actually coming out better than I thought it was. Now, a person who was really, really good at this, they would have done the shading under the chin. They would have done that a lot better than just going at it with the black. Obviously, I did that to fix it up. And I could actually fix that. If this were going on the computer, I could actually fix that in the computer. But I went down here and did some shading, put in some darker grays at the bottom and on the side over here. So I have the light coming from like the top, the top front. So I went in with the marker that way, and still not super great. And as you can see, this, like if you see the on the right side there, he's got shadow on his face. So, and the light is actually coming from the left side. So I didn't actually, like the darker side on his arm, that should be on his right side. See, it's like little stuff like that. Now, what I should have done was done all of the, use pencil and then kind of marked off where the various light or where the various shades would come from. So marked off where the lighting is coming from and things like that. All right, guys. So other than that, this was a quick one, but I'm going to be doing more practicing with these markers, and we'll see just how good we can get with the Tombows. You guys take it easy. Awesome.